Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, Avatar has done it. It's broken even. Two stories here. First off, it's made 1.5 billion, or past 1.5 billion. It made 471.7 million domestic and 1,075,000,000 internationally. So worldwide, it's made 1.546 billion dollars. So this is not a huge surprise. I mean, when the numbers first came out and it didn't make an enormous amount of money, the theory was that people were waiting to go to the best premium sort of venues to see it in the best theatres and that, which would mean it would have not much of a drop off and legs, because basically the theatres would just stay full, the good ones would stay full, and people wouldn't necessarily run off to the multiplexes and, you know, give it sort of that sort of Marvel movie sort of first weekend where it's huge and then the next week it just drops off because everyone runs out and sees it in the first week, so they can't wait. People waited to see it in quality theatres, which was a theory, and I thought, well, that's possible. We'll see. If it's got the legs, it'll stay. It happened. It had the legs. It stayed. And it looks like it's going to do fairly well. People are saying 3 billion. Obviously, it's going to make 2 billion. I'm not sure if it's going to have the legs for 3 billion, but we'll see. But it's interesting, though, because James Cameron originally said the film would have to make 2 billion to make money. And, you know, that sounded really bad, and everyone got on top of that. And then he turned around and said, actually, because he said it had to be like the 5th biggest film ever. And he turned around later and said, well, actually, I was sort of being a bit of a douche. It's actually more like the 10th highest grossing film ever, about 1.5 billion. And I'm like, wow, that's the break-even point. So in theory, they've made about $40 million or $50 million at this point. They've got to 1.5 billion, and they've made about 50 million. So that's not good. In some ways, it's not good. I mean, yeah, you're getting your money back, but you're not really getting much for the investment. So whether they do more of these films, if it makes 3 billion, well, that's fine, because you made 1.5 billion. But if it makes under 2 billion, you get a few hundred million for risking 1.5 billion, or whatever, to have to make. I'm not sure, but I've been doubting James the whole way, and apparently you don't bet against James Cameron. I've bet against him a couple of times and I've been wrong, but I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, because then I'm right again. That's the secret. A lot of people put their dig their heels in, don't understand. Once you admit you're wrong, you're right again, so shut up and just admit you're wrong. But yeah, so when you look at the days and the drop-offs and that, it sort of has had days where it's dropped off, and it's had days where it's plussed, and it has dropped off this week. This week it made less money than last week, and it made 50% less on Tuesday, 29% less on Wednesday, but 12 and 8% less. Am I even on the right part of the screen? Yeah, so it's been a bit of a mixed bag. I don't think it's going to do quite as well as people think. I don't think it's going to get to 3 billion, but it's definitely going to clear 2 billion, I think, pretty easily. But I mean, there will be a point where all the people who want to see it have gone out and seen it in, the good theatres, and they're done. I don't think it's going to have the rewatch sort of value that some other films have, where people go back again and again, because 3 hours and the money and the effort to see it the first time, and the fact that some of the theatres are booked for other films, I don't think it's going to have as good a legs as like a film that you can just see in a regular theatre, because, so I don't think 3 billion, but definitely 2 billion. But still, that's still not making a lot of money for the investment, and do you think 3 and 4 will do as well? Because I don't know. I mean, is this like a second fluke a decade later, and the fourth film won't be able to pull this off because people just saw it a year ago? I don't know. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Actually, what has it made each day while I'm already here? 50 million, 41, 36, 16, 18, 14, 14, 19, 14, 29, 32, 24, 20, and this is like Wednesday, Thursday 20, Friday 24, Saturday 18, that's pretty bad, the New Year's Day, 24 Sunday, Monday 21 million, Tuesday 10 million, that was a day it dropped 56%, Wednesday 7 million, Thursday 6 million, so it has dropped a bit, so it is having that decline that the blockbusters do usually have, but it took a few weeks to have it, and it's not quite as jarring as some of the regular Marvel movies. So it's got legs, but we'll see. I just want it to be over so we know the final number, so we can know if we're wrong or how wrong we were. But I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.